All right, let's have a round of applause for our band and spirit squad. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? That's not good enough. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Ah, there we go. There we go. This is an historic day for Mizzou, and certainly thank you all for attending. I hope everybody here in the audience is smiling. Smiling is great for the soul. I know that I'm smiling. Best of all, I'll now be able to go get a Christmas tree and put up my Christmas lights. So, you know, anytime you embark on a process like this, there's certainly a lot of people involved and people to thank and to be recognized. And I'd like to take that time to do that right now. You know, first and foremost, our fans. They have been terrific throughout the process. We want to thank you for all the text messages, the emails, the words of encouragement. I really, really believe we have the best fans in the country. Yeah, let's clap on that. Absolutely. I want to thank Chancellor Foley, who is here, and he'll speak in just a few minutes. But thank you, Chancellor, for your support and role in the process. Also want to thank President Mike Middleton, who could not be here with us today, but certainly for his support and role in our process. Our curators, Board of Curators, they were terrific throughout the entire process. Specifically want to thank Chairman Cups and Curator Snowden and his wife Jane. Jane, thank you for letting us borrow Curator Snowden for about 3 or 4 days. So, my wife Amy, Amy is not here. She had to be in Arizona. But Coach Odom, I want you to know from the very beginning, you're Amy's first choice, and it had nothing to do with you. It was all about Tia. So, all right. We're Ren Baker and Brian Maggard. Thank you both for your support and the role that you played. And I'm not sure that Wes Stricker is here, but Wes, certainly appreciate you and your help with transportation. Our current football student athletes, they are not here today. Coach Odom made it very clear yesterday in the team meeting that they need to be in class. But they've been terrific throughout this transition, and I know that they'll continue to do so as we continue to move forward and move on. Former players. If we have any former players here in the audience, would you please stand? Where are former players? Former players, please stand. You are the heart and soul of our program, and we certainly appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. We have some head coaches here with us. I'd like our head coaches to stand and thank you for your support. Coach Anderson, I know, is here. We have a game tonight. Where's Coach Pinchton? Other coaches, please stand. And oh, by the way, our volleyball team plays tonight at 7:30, second round of the NCAAs versus KU. Let's go, Mizzou. And finally, our entire Mizzou athletics family. You all have been tremendous in the support and the hard work. Thank you. It is truly appreciated. I would now like to bring up Chancellor Foley. As mentioned earlier, this is an historic day, a great day for this university. It's a beginning of a new era in Mizzou football. Chancellor Foley, welcome.
Well, it really is. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I want to extend my thanks to Mac and also to the committee and the committee members for doing just such a fine job. My congratulations to Coach Odom and to his family, to Tia and the boys, and the little one there who always smiles at me, which is just wonderful. I'm thrilled with this choice for a lot of reasons. Number one, I know Coach Odom will keep student in the student athlete, and that's really important to me. I know he'll, thank you. I know he'll also seek success, as we've always had, with honor, and that's really important to me. I know the players love him, I know we love him, and I know the fans are going to love him, and that's just great. I'm going to be very brief and just summarize by saying this, and that is Coach Odom has very, very big shoes to fill. If we look around at some of the former coaches that are on our list, our roster of coaches here, they're amazing, not the least of which is our most recent former coach. But I also couldn't help but notice that Coach Odom has really big feet. So I think you'll be able to fill those shoes. Good luck, sir. Thank you.
And just for the record, big feet were part of the criteria. The process, it was a great process. We certainly vetted many, many candidates. We targeted 5. It was thorough, it was detailed, it was fast-paced, it was rigorous. There were several complaints from the search committee throughout: lack of food, lack of sleep. I told them that they could do all of those things when we were finished. As you know, searches are journeys, and I think it's safe to say that we really enjoyed it. We enjoyed the opportunity to meet with great candidates. We appreciated the interest, and there was great interest in this job. As mentioned, we had great candidates. This is a great institution, and this is a great job. And part of the reason why it's a great job is because of the foundation, because of what Gary Pinkel and his staff built over his 15 years. And I know Coach Pinkel is here with us. I would like Coach Pinkel and his wife, Missy, to please stand and be recognized. Thank you, Coach. Barry Odom. We first met with him at my house for about 4 hours. And we wanted to meet with Coach Odom first to just see how high he set the bar. And he set the bar at a world championship level. He has great intellectual horsepower. He knows football or has a high football acumen. He is ready. He's tough, has a competitive fire in his belly. He's a terrific communicator. He cares about our student athletes and has an edge. He understands and demands accountability. He has a demonstrated ability to make tough, difficult decisions. He had a clear vision and plan. And finally, an insatiable appetite to be the best in everything he does. And it didn't hurt that this is his dream job. We met with Coach Odom a second time, and he reaffirmed everything we thought the first time. We intentionally tried to wear him out, and he's smiling because we tried. He even got a little ticked off about it, which I liked. But the second meeting, we felt even better than the first meeting. We spoke with others about Coach Odom, and their responses were off the charts positive. Here's what I know. I know that Barry Odom is a man of great integrity. He possesses great drive and unbelievable leadership skills. He is a great coach. I once had a Hall of Fame coach tell me, "Mac, look at the film. The film never lies." Well, look at the film. Coach Barry Odom is a great coach. We had other options. Coach Odom had other options. But ultimately, this partnership, both sides, all of us wanted. Here's what I know. Coach Odom is someone committed to leading a first-class program, both on and off the field. We call it Mizzou Made, preparing champions for life. He is the right person. This is the right time. This is the perfect fit to lead our program to that next level. Best of all, I am proud that Barry Odom is our new head football coach. Although already a member of our family, please stand and join me in welcoming Coach Odom, his wife Tia, and their 3 children, JT, Garrett, and Anna. Coach Odom. I need to give you here. Hold on, bro.
There's a hat. Thanks, Don.
I want the number.
Go together some of my thoughts, my emotions, and this wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I want to thank everybody for being here. I know that over the last couple of weeks, and especially the last couple of days, guys have become anxious for Mizzou to make a choice, and I'm so thankful, honored, and humbled to be here. Grateful and excited to lead this football program, represent this great university and the state of Missouri. There's a number of people that have been pointed out to this point on giving thanks and thank you through the process. President Mike Middleton, I know he said was not here at this time, but thank him. Chancellor Hank Foley, thank you dearly. The Board of Curators, specifically Chairman Cups, and then Curator Snowden. I've enjoyed getting to know you over the last few weeks. Mac Rhodes is a guy that I'm excited that I have the opportunity to partner with and move Mizzou forward. And he wasn't lying when he said they put me through the ringer. And the process, I got tired of hearing about the process because I got to a point through the process, I was ready. Let's make the decision. Let's go to work. But I respect it, and he did it along with his staff in a very first-class manner. I wouldn't be here in this situation. I believe that for a number of reasons, we're all brought here for some reason together. Okay? People were brought into your life and out of your life for different reasons, and we're here together. Last night, meeting with the football team for the first time, I paid those guys a couple of dollars to make sure they were excited when I walked in the door, so that helped a little bit. I see Mary Austin complaining up at the top there, but I'm here because of the people, and the people of our leadership group, the people that make up our football team, our football program, and the people that touch their lives every day. I think, without question, this is a place that I expect to win championships, and I believe in the values of working hard and outworking your opponent, in having great toughness and leadership, and all the things that will give us a competitive edge. Everywhere that I've been for the last 15 years, I've taken notes. I've got stacks and stacks and stacks of notes from every one of Gary Pinkel's staff meetings, from every one of Mike Alden departmental meetings, and every one of Mac Rhodes meetings so far. And I look back at those and I keep those for a reason and for a reference. And as I was going through some of those notes, I saw 4 words that kept sticking out. You got to have great direction. You've got to have great trust. You got to show great hope, and you got to have the opportunity to show results. And I'm with strong and very great conviction, I can't wait to lead this program in all of those areas. I'm so grateful for Gary Pinkel. He hired me in the year not too long ago, but it seems like a long time. And he took me in as a graduate assistant and allowed me the opportunity to grow as a person, as a coach, as a leader, as a mentor. And I wouldn't be here today if it had not worked having the opportunity to work with him. I do have tremendous shoes to fill. I'm representing a lot of people that were here before me, a whole lot of people that have poured a lot of things into this program, this university, and a lot of sweat equity. And I look forward to representing this place and those people the way it's supposed to be. I want you to be proud of the product that we put on the field. You're going to be proud of the product that we put in the classroom, in society, and on the football field. We're going to work the right way. We're going to represent this state and this program the right way. And I am so grateful that I have the opportunity to be the leader of this great university. There's a number of stories that I could share about this place. And there's a couple former players here that are really dear and to me, but I've got to be careful because I know a lot of people here, and everybody sitting here has a story about me too, so I've got to be careful on how deep I go on some of those stories. But moving forward, the foundation that is in place with Mizzou football and our athletics department is on really, really solid footing. I'm excited to take that foundation that Coach Pinkel set over 15 years and continue and put my stamp on it and move forward and try to take Mizzou to a different level and new heights. I'm going to need a lot of help. There's going to be bumps along the way. I know that's going to happen. I embrace that. I embrace the opportunity to lead our football program through those times. And at the end of the day, that we're going to have a lot of successes on the football field and in the classroom. My vision, without question, will be championships in all walks of life. And I'm not afraid to say that out loud. That's the standard. That's what we want. That's what we're going to work for every day. My goal is to wake up in the mornings, and when I drive to work, I do everything I can within my power that day to make Mizzou football better, make sure that I make the decisions that are better and best for the University of Missouri and our athletic program. Go to bed, wake up tomorrow morning, do it again. I know you heard Coach Pinkel talk about that, but it's proven, it's true, and if you take it day to day and you work and you work and you roll your sleeves up and keep your head down, you treat people right, fairly and honestly, the right thing is going to play out and it's going to happen. And I can't wait to do it for Mizzou. After we're working towards championships, I think there's a huge amount of focus that we're going to put socially, academically, our competitive excellence, and maybe most important, a personal accountability component to that. I expect my guys to graduate, and not only graduate, but graduate with a plan on what they're going to do. It's a plan for 4 years, but it's a plan for 40 years on what you're going to do after you leave Mizzou. And I'm excited about directing them and leading them into their future. I'm excited to be a role model for them. I'm excited to be a leader and a friend for them when they finish up, that they know they can lean on me in every walk of life. There's some things that my family have allowed me the opportunity to do, and they've been introduced a number of times, but I'm so grateful for them. I'm grateful my old man, Bob Odom, made the trip up, drove through the night to make it. My older brother, Brad, and his wife, Tammy, and their daughter, Brady. So there's a lot of special people here. Tia's from the state of Missouri, her mom and dad, and sister and brother in the crowd. And I look forward to representing you guys. I'm excited about our fan base. I know what it means to for you guys to stand behind something, and I know without question the product that we put on the field, you're going to be really excited and get behind it. Thank you so much. I'm excited and grateful and thankful for this opportunity, and I can't wait to touch and work with our kids on a day-to-day basis and represent this great institution. Thank you.
Okay, we're ready for questions from the members of the media as Coach Odom and Director of Athletics Rhodes get settled in. Our first question comes from Dave Matter of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Hi, guys. Congratulations, Barry. Mac, the question is for you. The other people that came up or were mentioned for this job all were sitting head coaches, and Barry obviously has not been a head coach. Where did his experience sort of factor into the decision that you made that he was the best choice for this program?
Dave, thank you for being here, and thank you for the question. You know, again, we went into this process open-minded and certainly didn't put any restrictions on any candidate. And at the end of the day, it was about just who we felt had the just best ability to take us to that next level, whether head coaching experience or not. And you know, over and over and over again throughout the many hours of conversation and questions with Coach Odom, just continued to just feel this sense, this gut feeling that he is the man to take this program to that next level.
Next question, David Morrison, Columbia Daily Tribune.
Hey, Barry. Congratulations again. I guess just what was this week like for you, you know, with Memphis coming after you, with Missouri coming after you? Just kind of what was that like for you?
Well, it's always, thanks, Dave, for being here. This time of year, if you're in college coaching, it's you know, a unique time. This year, for whatever reason, the process of coaching openings happened earlier, so things seemed like they were sped up, so to speak. You know, Mac told me from the first time we met that he's going to have a process that he goes through. He said, you know, stay focused on taking care of our student athletes, stay focused on the job that you have to do today, and stay focused on making sure that our guys finish, our current roster finishes the right way. And I trusted that. He reminded me of that a number of times when I've got a process that I'm going through, in so much that I got tired of hearing that. But that was the way it was done. So I took that information, spoke with them when it was my opportunity to speak with them, and then turned my focus completely on our current student athletes, on trying to lead and direct them in my own way.
Joe Waljasper, Columbia Daily Tribune.
Okay, I've been introduced, so I don't have to introduce myself. But Mac, you mentioned that you put him through a pretty exhaustive second interview, and you eventually got a little ticked off about it. What were you looking for there, and why did that please you that you got that kind of reaction?
I was looking for him to get ticked off a little bit. Seriously. I mean, I think that, you know, just his fight, that competitive nature, and you know, those are all things that I think are just, you know, a few of the qualities that a head coach needs, and to be able to, as Coach Odom said, there's going to be some bumps, and to be able to get through all of that and the transition, and there's going to be some hard times, and somebody that I know, no matter what, is going to continue to fight and persevere.
Back row, Tom Ackerman from KMOX Radio.
Barry, congratulations. You made some reference to it, but the video that's been widely circulated now of you and the players, what was that moment like for you?
You know, a great feeling. I know over the last few months that the way that we have done things as a football family, that's our culture. I believe that I've done enough in my previous position as a linebackers coach and defensive coordinator to earn trust with our football team and our football family. They know that I care about them as our coaching staff does. And, you know, for that to be expressed last night, that the way that they did it, you know, I didn't know when they opened the door, said going in the side door. I didn't, you know, you always hope for that. You know, it wouldn't be very good if I walk in and nobody jumps up. So a little bit of a calculated risk there. But, you know, I feel great passion and great energy to have a chance to coach those guys. You know, they know what I bring to the table every day. Our expectations are anxious to get to work, and I was excited to see those guys. I hadn't seen them in a couple days, and that was a fun time.
Gabe DeArmond, Power Mizzou.
Guys, the same question, kind of two sides of it for each of you. When, Mac, did you actually make the decision, and Barry, when did you kind of find out, and just kind of reactions at that moment?
You know, Wednesday, you know, really spent some time just hunkering down and you know, just thinking about all the different candidates, and so it was Wednesday when I reached out and offered Coach Odom the position.
Next question. Yes, sir.
Andrew Kaufman, ABC 17. There's been reports of some of the former Coach Pinkel's staff leaving. What is your timetable for assembling your new staff, and how many of those will be from Coach Pinkel's former staff?
Yeah, I think as we move forward, there's an opportunity that I will have to meet with all of the staff, on both sides of the ball and all the different positions that we have. I think it's hugely important for us to find the right fit for us moving forward. Those guys have done a tremendous job. The guys that have been here for a number of years have done a great job. I don't want to put a time on when we're going to have a staff in place. There's still teams playing. Recruiting, the urgency to get on the road and go recruiting is at a very, very high level. And we're going to find the right fits for any openings that we have moving forward, and look forward to putting that staff together.
Back row, please.
Hi, guys. Jason Lamb from Fox 4 News in Kansas City. Coach Odom, I know that Coach Pinkel hired you out of high school in 2003, 2004, and here you are succeeding him. Did you have a chance to visit with him when you accepted the job, and what was that conversation like?
We spoke. Coach and I have a very close relationship, and we have for a number of years. I first met him in December of 2002. I was a high school coach, and I listened to him speak at a clinic, and went up and talked to him afterwards. And he had a graduate assistant's job come open about that time, and was able to get the job on his staff. And it was there was always a working relationship, but he's a guy that I'm indebted to forever, that I've always admired and looked up to. I appreciate the things that he's done for my alma mater and for this place, and the way that he worked every day. It's something I have great respect for. So I called him. We talked late last night. I don't recall exactly what time it was, but had a decent length conversation, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to represent the things that he's built.
Front row to the left.
Barry Todd Palmer, Kansas City Star. It's been talked about as your dream job. I'm just curious, last December, early January, did you anticipate that this might be an opportunity for you when Gary left, and could you have imagined it would happen so soon, and did you think that might affect your chance of getting this job because it was so quick?
No, every year I set goals on what I want to do. We set them as a team, we set them as a defense or offensive side, and I set personal goals. I set goals with my family. I mean, it's just the way that I've operated forever. And I know and knew that I was going to be a head coach. I didn't know where or when, but I have strong belief that the things that I've done leading up to this point, that I was ready to be a head coach. When Coach and I talked in late December last year, that never came up. I expressed to him my career aspirations on being a coordinator, and then at some point when the time is right, whether it's this year or in 15 years, have an opportunity to interview and become a head coach. But never, I wouldn't let my mind go there that I thought it was going to be in a position to, when Coach was done, to replace that never, I wouldn't let myself think about that.
Second row in the back right.
Coach Frank Cusimano, we know where you are as a defensive coach. Can you describe what you want to see on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, you look, and any time that you have the opportunity to coach on the defensive side, you look at offenses that presented you problems, that from a game planning standpoint, from a personnel standpoint, how those things affected the way that you game plan and call the defense. So over the course of the last 15 years, I've got ideas and philosophies on what I want to see building an offense moving forward. And at the end of the day, you've got to score points. You've got to have great play out of your quarterback. But it's all got to fit together, and you've got to do a great job recruiting the skill set to fit that system. And you're not going to walk out and say, well, there's going to be a spread offense. That may not fit what you have, but we're going to do enough things within our offensive system that will be player friendly, that will allow them to use the skills that they have, and then hopefully through some of my experiences on the defensive side, give another defensive coordinator issues with the way they line up, the tempos that they play with, and all the things that make a successful offense.
Right down in the front row, right in front of you.
Jacob O'Gage with the Columbia Missourian. Barry, congratulations. Mac, congratulations as well. Mac, I was wondering if you could speak to the importance of hiring from within the program.
I think, just in terms of the importance, I think it's certainly highly important if you've got a great program, and if there's been a great foundation built and orchestrated like Coach Pinkel did over the last 15 years. But I didn't hire Barry Odom to be Coach Pinkel. Coach Pinkel was great and has been great for 15 years. I hired Coach Barry Odom to be Coach Odom, and he'll build upon that great foundation, but he'll have his own ideas and manage the program his way, and I'm excited about that. And I know that just like Coach Pinkel did 15 years ago, Barry Odom has a very clear vision and plan for our program moving forward.
Okay, to our left, fourth row on the aisle.
Pete Scanlberry, PowerMizzou.com. This is for Mac. When you were talking to especially the outside candidates, did the protests on campus and the boycott of the team, was that a discussion that you had to have with those coaches?
No, played no role.
On the aisle to the right.
Ashley Zavala, KRCG 13. Barry, is it safe to say that this was your destination? I mean, I know, had you gone and been a head coach elsewhere, was Mizzou still a place you would have wanted to end up?
Well, I think at the end of the day, where you graduate college from is always going to have a special place in your heart. Missouri is an unbelievable, tremendous state. The people of Missouri are the best, and I look forward to representing them. You never know where you're going to end up work-wise. I'm a firm believer in working hard every day and treating people right. And if the right situation opens up and it works out, then that's a bonus. And I would also say that this is where I wanted to be, without question. I want to be at the University of Missouri, and I want to represent all the great people of this state and this university.
Going to the back left.
Austin Kim, ABC 17. Mac, with the coaching search, how unique or difficult was it, considering there were so many different openings around the country in this particular year?
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret that I went through this a year ago, and it was certainly different just because of the openings that happened, many weeks ago, and so a lot of conversations had already happened, and so that was the uniqueness about it, and some of the pressures, etc. We were set. We talk about it. Coach Odom talked about it, about having a process and going through that process, and we were very, very candid with all of our candidates that if we're going to talk to you, this is going to be the process. Don't get in unless you agree with it. And so again, this is a great institution. It's a great job. We had great candidates, and we were able to visit with the people we wanted to visit with. And Coach Odom obviously did a great job.
Front row right in front. RB.
RB Falstrom, Associated Press. I remember your playing career. Question for you, Barry. What kind of tactics did Mac use to rally you up during the interview process?
We can go at it real quick. It wasn't that long ago. I think we both remember it pretty quickly. But he's a competitive guy. I've learned that. I'm competitive. If we arm wrestled right now, I'd want to win. And
but he wouldn't.
That's right. And so this will be interesting. The great partnership is going to be good. But it was good. I mean, it was healthy. And I think anytime you have a trusting relationship, it's okay to have those conversations. And I was excited about it as well when we left there.
To my left.
Hey, Coach Odom. Benjamin Hockman, Post-Dispatch. The team won 5 games last year with obviously an amazing defense and a young offense. Is that maybe fair to say? A up-and-coming offense. Looking forward to next year, is 6 wins and bowl eligibility if you don't get that, is it fair to say that that's a failure of a season?
No, I'm not in a position to talk number of wins. I'm in position to talk about how we're going to work really, really hard. We're going to get better in every aspect of our program. And if we take care of our business and we do the things we're supposed to do from now until we kick the ball off at West Virginia, we'll be in good position.
Gabe. Barry, you addressed the offense a little bit, but how will you handle the defensive side of the ball? Will you hire a defensive coordinator? Will you call the defense?
Well, we will have a defensive coordinator. I'm excited about being very involved with the defense. I'm going to be very involved with the offense, and I'm going to be very involved with our kicking game. And I will gravitate a little bit more towards the defense because that's my background. But obviously, offensively, I've got a lot of ideas and things that I want to make sure we're all on the same page moving forward.
Going back to the left again.
Thanks, Mike. Barry, Jim Holder from KTRS in St. Louis. Congratulations. I'm curious about your recruiting philosophy. Closing the borders for the state of Missouri and then going outside. What's important to Coach Odom in that regard?
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jim. The things, when you look at recruiting, again, it's about relationships. It's about the right fit for our football program and this university, academically, socially, all the responsibilities that entail on stepping on the campus with a young student athlete. I think, without question, the state of Missouri has tremendous high school football. I respect the high school coaches in this state and have a great relationship with a number of guys that I look forward to working with in this role. We've got to get Missouri kids to stay at Mizzou, and Coach Pinkel's done a great job on getting the right fit for our program, and it's my job to continue that. I think it's really important to get into the footprint of the Southeastern Conference. I think it's important to get a footprint in the state of Texas on where our recruiting efforts will move us forward.
In the middle, 4 rows back.
Barry, Blair Kirkhoff with the Kansas City Star. I'm curious, you've talked about your aspirations to become a head coach. When did you first aspire to get into coaching? Was that while you were here? And I'm also curious about your own personal recruiting story that brought you here.
Yeah, there's, I may have to ask you to repeat part of that. There's getting into coaching. I grew up in a small town in Oklahoma. We went to school. You got home from school. If it was basketball season, you were playing basketball. If it's football season, you were playing football. Baseball, that's just the way it was in small town Oklahoma. And all the kids were at the house, and that's what we were doing. I was involved with sports growing up. Older brother was, a college football player. My dad was, and worked in a number of different ways, but he had some coach mentality to him. My mom was a public school teacher. And so we were around sports all of our life growing up. That was just a way of our life. And I remember so vividly every coach that I had in every sport, they had such an influence on me. Starting in the 5th grade, I can remember my Pop Warner team, the head football coach, and the messages that he gave me as a 5th grader on up through junior high. I had a number of high school coaches, and Jerry Gamble and Larry McBroom, and guys that have such tremendous had a relationship with and still do, that it just, I gravitated towards those guys. I respected the way that they were able to get a group of guys to work together. It didn't matter. They bonded together, they locked arms, and they went and worked towards a common goal. That always was really intriguing to me. And when I got into being a student athlete here, I have a number of coaches that had a great influence on me. On the way that they handled business, on the way that they treated me as a person, on the relationships that we developed, and the way that they led. And I knew at that time that I was going to be involved in collegiate athletics in some way. And I got into coaching pretty quick after I was told I wasn't good enough to play any longer. And I'm glad that I did, because the most rewarding part of this job for me is to allow a platform for our student athletes to have great success. And that's what drives me every day. Recruiting story on how I got here. I was not a very good high school football player. We were on a really good high school football team. And I'd committed to the University of Oklahoma State. They had a coaching change in December, I believe. The new staff that came in decided to go in a different direction. And that's recruiting. I understand how that works. So Missouri had come through to watch one of our younger guys, a junior that was a year below me, that was a highly recruited guy across the nation. Missouri had come through to recruit him, and a guy named Harry Heestand, who was the offensive line coach at that time for University of Missouri. I was running track and ended up, he saw me on the track, and I think they felt sorry for me. They had one spot left and said, come on, we'll give it to you. Let's go make this work. I came to Mizzou as a tailback, and that lasted all of about half of one practice. And I remember getting the phone call from Larry Smith, hey, you need to come see me. And I walked in, and it's Coach Smith. I was a little bit in awe of freshman day one of going into his office. And he sat down, and he kind of looked at me and make sure he remembered who I was. He said, Odom? And I said, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And he goes, you're not a tailback. Okay, yes, sir. And he goes, you're a linebacker. Okay, you okay with that? Yes, sir. Out the door. So that's kind of the way that conversation went. And so, I learned, had a great deal of respect for him. And, that's kind of how I ended up here.
In the middle, row 2.
Brandon Foster, Jefferson City News Tribune. Mac, a number of players expressed their desire to see Barry get the job. How much, if at all, did that play into your decision?
None. I mean, I just, again, I love our current student athletes, but, this was about getting the right person, the right fit, and, certainly I liked the fact that they jumped all over Barry last night when he walked into the door and or walked into the team meeting room, but really tried to leave all of that out and just focus on who's that best person, that best fit.
One row back, row 3.
Barry, congratulations. Matt Michaels of KTGR. Have you learned anything about yourself throughout this whole process, and if so, what would that be?
A little more patience. I'm not a very patient guy in any aspect of my life, so I know that that's a great virtue to have. So I'm learning as we go to have a little more patience, and that's probably good for me.
Over to the left on the aisle.
Another question for Mac. Barry was asked about the assistants that he'll hire or keep. Will you have any input in that process, or is that just up to Coach Odom?
That's up to Coach Odom. With every candidate, we spoke extensively about staff and, went through that, again, in great depth, but that's Coach Odom's decision.
Up front to the left.
Mac, Todd Palmer, Kansas City Star again. I was curious about Pat Ivy's situation. I understand he's maybe an assistant AD, and will that be Barry's decision as well, or will you have more input in that because of his stature? And have you guys made a decision about Pat yet?
We have made no decision in terms of any other staff associated with football at this point in time. And, that will be Coach Odom's decision in terms of his strength and conditioning person. That is obviously a very, very critical position in today's world of football. And so that will be his decision, but I'm sure that we'll visit and discuss it.
Row 3 on the aisle.
Hey, Mac, it's me again. I guess when you say that...
Who set the record for the most text messages to me, Dave?
That's right, right? I'm not doing my job. I'm not doing that. Anyway, so when you say that you targeted 5 candidates, I mean, does that mean you interviewed 5 candidates, or what does that mean?
I like to use the word targeted.
We have time for one more question. Okay, second row.
Coach, after the Arkansas game, players were very vocal, especially the defensive players, about you being the new football coach. What does that mean to you to have that kind of support from those players?
Well, it's about our relationships with our players. I've got a very strong relationship with them because I care about them, and I want them to have success. That for them to reach out, I don't know if that, like Max said, didn't help me or hurt me. But, they're a special group, and we've got a lot better to get and a lot of work to do. But, I know when we roll out on the field, the expectation level on what they're going to do and how we're going to work, they'll be ready to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in a round of applause for the head football coach at the University of Missouri, Coach Barry Odom.